Hello YouTube and welcome back to my channel. For tonight's video we're going to go ahead and scrap out a older Dell computer monitor. This monitor, it's not an LCD, it is an old CRT monitor. The model number is, let's see, it is E773C. It was manufactured in, can't really read it from here, but it looks like July 2004. So yeah, almost 18 years old. I've actually scrapped out about 50 plus of this particular monitor. The old company I used to work for before I started with this company 5 years ago, they had over 100 of these, and they asked me to get rid of them for them. So I jumped at the chance and I scrapped as many of them as I could, and I got a pretty good fair share of copper. The other 50 I couldn't scrap them fast enough, so we had a e-waste company come and pick them up. So that was kind of my loss. So yeah, about 7 years ago was the last time I actually did one of these. So, and I do know there's a fair share of copper on it. Anyways, let's get the tripod set up and get some better lighting, and we'll start ripping this thing open. Alright guys, let's go ahead and begin scrapping out this monitor. So, I don't know if I'm going to include the power cord because it is removable, and it technically isn't really part of the monitor. So I don't know if I'm going to count this or not. So we'll just set that aside over there. There's usually 4 screws that holds this together. There's 2 in the back here, and then there's 2 right over here on the sides. So I got the drill today. It is charged, so there we go. Make quick use of getting this apart. These are relatively easy to scrap out. Should take maybe about a half an hour to really scrap it out and get every little morsel of copper from it. One thing I do is I save these screws, and you'll see why at the end of the scrap session. So let's just come over here and get this one. So, not really a big fan of these bits. They're kind of cheesy, but you know, for Milwaukee, I'm surprised they made them like that. But yeah, so we got all the screws there. This is ready to pull. Oh, and there's one right here in the back by the power cord I missed. So this technically had 5. Oh. There we go. I'll save that one too. So, should just slide right off. Could be in a pain in the ass. If you want to do it quicker, clip the cord first. So, alright, let me just move this card a tiny bit. There we go. So here's all the guts. I start just removing wires wherever I see them. You want to get this piece off the top first. I'm going to show you how to scrap these out where you don't have to break the tube. Yeah, these are pretty simple, but unfortunately there's a lot of rust in this, so this one was probably sitting outside for a while. Yeah, just break it off. I'm not going to worry about that. And then normally what I do, once I get all the tabs off, there we go, make it a little easier. I end up clipping wires wherever I see them. This has got a little grounding strap here. There we go. This should just pop off. Just wiggle it side to side like this. Oh, that's really on there. Yeah, it's coming off. Slowly but surely. Yeah, there's something stuck on the front here. Yeah, a little scrap here. So, one thing I'm going to do, clip these zip ties wherever you see them. Normally this does pull off, but that's preventing it. And those zip ties are too. So see if we can get in there. A little bit different than the ones that I've done in the past. Just don't want to break the tube. I mean, you'll know when you do. You'll feel like a little explosion. Come on, get it in there. Yeah, let's see if I can get it off now. There we go. So there's not a lot of play in this one, so you're going to want to start cutting wires wherever you see them. That's preventing it. I don't like these tabs on these. There we go. I'm just going to clip it right there. Not much copper. I'm not probably going to strip these wires. They're pretty thin. Yeah, there's a power there. That one. So, one little straggler, and then that stupid little zip tie is what's holding everything up. Okay. Take that off. Take that off. Take that off. and then more straps. So there's really no value inside here. Inside this box, just a little circuit board. There's the plug connector for the for that right there. So this usually I just toss in scrap steel if I really want to break these welds, which is easy to do. I mean, I might take the circuit board out and throw it in my circuit boards pile. So there's really nothing of value on here, so to speak. There's not pretty much any copper in here, except traces of it here and there. So let's set that aside. So pretty much what I do now, just start unscrewing things. There's brass, obviously, in these little connectors here, grounding connectors, so we keep those. I'm not saving any more screws. I was just saving the one from the beginning. So to take this apart, you got to take a drill here. There's a C-clamp, well, hose clamp on it. These are usually, I think, stainless steel. Yeah, that's, it's got some pull to it. That's because of that screw. Yeah, barely any pull. So that's stainless steel. Keep that magnet right there for now. To get this off, usually you gotta twist them around like that and then pull. That comes right off. That's recycle. These right here, there's another one of these here. It's got a little bit of goop in there, so I don't know if we're gonna be able to get that easily. Oh, there we go. That's good. I'm not gonna pull the tube off yet. There's these little tabs here that hold these in place. That's why you got your side cutters. Just clip the plastic and pull it right off, just like that. They are brittle, they will go everywhere, so don't worry about that. They usually say there's power stored in this. I can tell you right now, this has not turned on in a while, so I'm not gonna get zapped. Because, there you go. It's just a myth. They are stored, you know, if you've used them very, you know, recently, within a day or so, but if this hasn't been plugged in for a long time, then you don't have to worry about getting zapped. People will try to prove me wrong, but it hasn't happened to me yet. So, anyways, just gonna keep removing wires wherever I see them, get every little morsel of brass and copper we can out of this. These generally have, you know, I don't want to jinx it, but there's a fair amount of copper on them. So that's why I'm actually doing the video. So, let's see. Another thing I like to do, I like to try to get these circuit boards out. There's usually tabs on each side. Just gonna pull it apart. This one, there we go. Then it'll start sliding off the sliders here. You want to clip as many wires as you can. Let's see, we'll clip it right here. It's a little, it's like a grounding wire of some sorts. That's loose. And got a few more things still attached to it. Oh, this little strap here. There we go. Here the tabs are wanting to kick back. Let's get rid of this. Cut that right off. These I don't normally strip. There's so many wires inside here. They're just very small and they're not worth stripping. So I throw this right in insulated wire. But I will cut it open just to show you. I'm just gonna throw that on the floor right there. Let's see. It's a little easier when I'm doing this on this side. Let's see. We're gonna cut that right there. Oh, there's a brass connector on there. There we go. Just let the wire fall in. Just make it a little easier to get these boards out. A nice little spool of copper there. These here have a spring. And you just pull it right off. This is tinned wire, tinned copper. So save this. That is meltable. As you clip the little brass ends off, but we're not gonna do that right now. I'll do that off camera. You don't need to see me wasting my time and your time just, you know, cleaning up wire. You know, that's boring. Not to say that this is boring, but it might be for some. Another grounding wire here, we're just gonna cut it. So I'm pulling the wires to get them out of the way. A little clip here. This is the degaussing cable. If this is copper, there will be a lot of weight to it. Nice and heavy, it feels heavy. So I'm sure there's copper in there. Like I said, I've done about 50 plus of these types of monitors in the past, and they've always been good copper. Always, always, always. So, and if it wasn't, I wouldn't be wasting my time doing this video. So, this is pretty much almost ready to pull apart. I'm just gonna clip this here. All right. This should come right out. It's still attached to the board. There we go. And once I get it loose, it's this degaussing cable holding everything up. straggler. Okay, just get rid of this for right now. We'll throw that on the floor. Okay, now usually to get these out without breaking them, I pull all these little adhesive rubber things off. Try to get them off completely. There we go. And then just give it a twist. And twist and pull, twist and pull. And that's it. That's how you get that yoke out without breaking that monitor. So pretty much there's nothing else of value on this. Little piece of steel right here, which we'll just rip it off for the hell of it. Why not? There we go. And then we can say we got everything. A little brass connector here. You know what? It's the only one. I'll pull it off real quick. There we go. We'll save that over there. And then we're going to put this back on. Come on, get in there. There we go. Okay. So now, we'll take the cover. Put the cover right back on. Saved all those screws from before. The only screw we're not going to use is the one that was holding the circuit board in place, which was right here. So we'll just put that over there for now. Let's see. Get all 4 of these. I like putting these back on because they're a lot easier to pick up. Usually you could just do one in each corner, but I'm anal. I do every one of them. Doesn't hurt. Only takes a couple seconds. A couple seconds with a drill. So there we go. All right, and that's it. So the way I get rid of these, this is how I get rid of these. In my state, we have a bulk pickup, usually on the first trash pickup of the month. You just put it on the side of the road with the rest of your crap. Town comes, picks it up. Don't have to pay to get rid of it. It's already built into your taxes anyways, into your property taxes. So may as well get rid of it that way. So there's nothing else of value on there. There's a couple screws, and then that tube, they'll dispose of it the correct way. So just break the cover off of this yoke assembly here. There is some decent copper in this. You can see all the copper trace wires. So we'll clip those as much as we can get off. There we go. Then normally, I like to break them down here. This one might be easy to get out. Nope, I'm gonna break the board if I do. So I'll cut the wires first. There we go. You should wear eye protection when you're clipping things like this. You'll see why I'm clipping all these little pieces of wire off. It just makes it easier to remove this. Oh, that's really on there. And there's another one here holding it up. Okay, and one right there. Nope, don't have my flat blade. Normally I'd put a flat blade in here and pry it right off like that. There's another wire I missed. There's a lot of connections on here. So once you get this cleaned up as best as you can, take this spool off. Sorry if I'm rushing. Get it? Russian. Okay, flip that. Show you how to really scrap these real quick. So this is just a brown board, low grade circuit board. We'll keep that. Just throw it in the pile. So this here's an easy way that I do it. I stick a screwdriver. It's gonna let me do it on this one. Yeah, there's a plug, piece of ferrite in there. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do it the easy way. Normally I just put a screwdriver through the spindle and then just keep it up like this and just pull on it and it just unwinds the whole thing. But this is still quick anyway, so get that out. Then we got another one here. We'll just break the tab, just to make it easier. There we go. Oh, wrong one. Gotta break this tab. There we go. Just unwind it. There we go. So here's our first clean copper. Get that little piece of plastic off. It'll melt off into the furnace, but I try not to melt that kind of stuff. It just really stinks. So as far as the copper, we'll just throw it right there for now. And keep some of the trash over here in the scrap wire. So that's junk plastic. Let's see. So the next step in this, this should come out here. Let's see if I have a flat plate. Probably have a million Phillips heads. Oh, I do have one. Perfect. So on the newer style of this model, used to be able to just pull it out, but this one you have to pry it. Get a little flat blade in there behind it, push forward, it'll come right out. These I do scrap out. I do it the same way, except, you know, I painstakingly unwind it and unwind it and unwind it. So I'll do these off camera, but we are going to be scrapping these pieces out for the copper that's on there. So next, this is kind of the clips. There's a ring of copper right here. I'll take this off first. So this is very easy to get the copper out. So all I do, take my side cutters and just break it. Just break it all the way through. And if you don't break the wires, no big deal. We're going to keep it all in one piece. Pull it off. And we've got a couple little tiny pieces here. That's it. That's how you get that off. Very simple. So just roll this up, put it in the pile here. Okay. Normally what I do on these, there's 2 clips that hold it in place here and here. I don't do a flat blade under it. The reason being is these are under so much spring tension. When you get under here and pry up, it's gonna fly everywhere. So I usually take a pair of vice grips here. And you know what's gonna be funny? These aren't the grips that I usually use. I am lying. All right, here's what we're gonna do first. We're gonna hold our finger over it, pry it a little bit, and then grab it. There you go. Now you don't have to worry about it flying everywhere. Just keep your finger over it while you're getting the blade underneath it. Once you get it, there we go. Done. Don't have to worry about it hitting you now. So, there's a lot of tape on here. Try to take the tape off. Usually when you get one piece, it starts grabbing the rest of it like this. There we go. Come on, get off my finger. We'll clean this part too. These I might have to do all individually. Yeah, I'll do those individually. So, and there's a reason why I'm pulling the tape off. It just makes it easier. The tape is actually a part of what's holding this together. There's a couple tabs on here, which I'll show you where to break them. Get these off. Because these are very easy. People don't usually scrap monitors and televisions because of how hard it is. You know, that's what they say. I mean, that's easy to get off. I mean, this is just, you know, you can peel it right back. There you go. You know, just break it right off. Easy. You know, a lot of people are intimidated by these. I take a flat blade, I find the seam right here on both sides, take a flat blade, stick it in between, and then just rock it back and forth until it comes loose like this. You know, how easy was that? Like literally like 2 seconds to take this out. And people are lazy and they don't want to do these. So whenever I see them, I always take them apart. So getting this out, sometimes you got to break the plastic around. I'm not going to lie. So you might want to use gloves when you do this. But this one came out relatively easy. To get this off, usually on some of the crappy monitors and TVs, gonna make a liar out of me. Usually on the crappy ones, they have so much lacquer on here. It's usually covered everywhere, even on the inside. And it's so hazardous to melt this in a furnace like that. So, but I'm gonna take my little flat blade here. I'm gonna break around it, break that lacquer right off. See, this is the quality on a Dell monitor versus like, you know, an off-brand monitor. So, just got a little bit of tape here. This will actually burn off in the furnace, but I do try to get as much adhesive off as possible, just because it's hazardous. And you should always make sure to use a respirator if you're going to melt this kind of stuff. Most people, you know, I'm a casting channel too, so that's why I'm saying melting. But if you're just scrapping monitors out for copper, then, you know, just leave it as is and stuff. Try to get some of the tape off, and they'll give you a number 2 price for it. You know, this is all number 2 copper. It's got a little bit of thin lacquer on it. So, but that's how easy it is to take these apart. This one might be a little more difficult. Like I said, it's gonna crack there. Crack it around. And then sometimes you need a little finagling under here. Just get on the edge. Try to pry it right off. There we go. So that one came off. This one, gonna be a little more difficult to get that. So, a little flat blade here. Pry it. Pull that off, junk. This is iron ferrite. If you drop it on the ground, it's gonna shatter into 20 pieces. I'm not gonna do it because I don't feel like cleaning it up, but just clean the tape off. And there we go. That was easy. Oh, still got a little piece of tape here. But that's how quick it is to scrap out a monitor. I mean, and you can clearly see, like this is a fair amount here. This might be maybe a quarter to a half a pound right now. You know, and then, you know what, I am deciding, because it's part of the monitor, you need this to actually power the monitor. I'm including this with the melt, with the weight, because you need a power cord to get the monitor to work. So this is technically part of the monitor. So we'll be scrapping this too. We'll get a little value out of that. And then let's see, the decausing cable. It's this cable right here. One thing I would recommend you do first, besides clip off every little piece of junk that you can find on it, this is all electrical tape. This does not get stripped inside the stripping machine. It actually gunks up the rollers, and then I literally clean the whole machine. So you don't want to use something that has an adhesive to it. You don't want to use that stripping machine for. So unless you want to ruin your machine and make it so it's literally not usable until you clean the whole thing. So normally what I do with this, I'm just going to give you an example. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it right where it meets this fat part. Now this fat part has extra wire in there. So this right here is the clean stuff. And when I say clean stuff, you want to cut it and actually visually look at it. And if you see copper there all the way through, this is a copper degaussing cable. The telltale sign is the weight. If it was made out of aluminum, this would weigh literally nothing. When I do get aluminum ones, I don't strip them out. I just throw it right in with my insulated wire. So, but the way that I usually strip these, I usually use my vise, but I'll just give you an example right here. I start off like right here and I score it all the way down. Just score it just like this. And then once you score it, you pretty much want to do the whole thing like that. Once you got it all scored, you can just pull it. Right here, you find all the strands, and then you'll just pull it off like that. And it will come off in one piece, as long as you have a sharp enough razor knife. There is a small thin layer. Let's see if I can find it, actually. There's a small thin layer, like every 6 inches, and you'll know when you hit it. It's right here, actually, because it was harder to cut through. So there's usually a small thin layer, which... I can't find it, but just take my word for it. But this is pretty much the easiest way that I've found to strip these. It might take you about 2 minutes to do it, but it's definitely worth it because most of the weight from the monitor for copper is inside this degaussing cable. And the bigger the monitor you have and the thicker the degaussing cable, the more copper you're gonna get. Like this alone right here, plus this, probably gonna get over at least half a pound. And it doesn't take long to strip this stuff, from what you can tell. So, you know what? I'll do it live on camera. You'll see exactly how long it takes. So just gonna make sure it's not wound up on itself and you have a nice clean area. Unfortunately, I don't normally have a clean area. As you can tell from this, from all my videos actually, I'm just one of those clutter freaks. Yeah, it's over here. There was a little bit of extra right there. So just pretty much keep scoring around it. Pull it apart just like this. This is very sticky. This will burn off in the furnace. You can just cash it in as is. Like I said, if you don't do melting or casting, you know, just cash it right in as is and they'll give you #2 price for it. No questions asked. And these are pretty thick strands too. Those aren't bad. So let's get this. You should always be careful. Always make sure you're cutting away from yourself too. You don't want to ever cut towards yourself. That's how you cut your fingers. So let's see. And always be cautious and always remember where you put your knife down before you start reaching around on a bench like this. So yeah, this is gonna get a little difficult right here. Yeah, that's why I like to peel it as I go. Yeah, see, here's the extra layer right here I was telling you about. You can see there's an extra layer here, and it's usually every 6 to 8 inches. So it's just a little harder to cut through it. So there we go. Throw that on the floor. And then when they get to these bends, they're a little tricky. There we go. But pretty much, I've seen other people use steak knives and strip this off. There's a lot of copper that comes off in the process when you do that. This way I'm showing you is guaranteed to get you every single bit out of it. Every single bit. And then right at the end, it's the thick part, and you'll see why. So we got a little bit that's here. That's that double layer I was telling you about. So there's a little bit of tape left over there. And then you got these wires, you got a little bit around it. I usually clip it off just because, you know, it's gonna add to the weight. Perfect. I will strip this wire too. It comes off. There is a lot of junk with these, but a lot of it's recyclable, like a lot of plastic, so. And when I clip the wires off, I clip the 10 part off too, just right with it. So, and this is the heaviest part out of all of this. Like this right here weighs as much as all this stuff. So, and I think I missed a little bit right here. There you go. Now, we're pretty much done with this, so we'll put that away. And there you go. That's got some weight to it. I'm actually going to show you right now how much weight is on this. Just this degaussing cable alone is going to be backwards in that camera. Actually, we'll do it like this, so both cameras can pick it up. So this is clear. I think it's set to grams still. Yeah, set to grams. This right here is 127 grams. That's over 1/4 of a pound, just in that degaussing cable alone. Just throw all the rest of the stuff on here just for the heck of it. Now we're at 3/4 of a pound just from that stuff. Plus we still have the power cord to do. Plus we still got this wire to strip. Plus we got some spools of copper here. This transformer, I don't usually strip these. I leave around the board. I take off the aluminum pieces. I'm not going to show you that on camera because that's just clipping wires and pulling stuff off. But we will pull these off live. So shut this off for a minute. So about 320 grams. That's pretty much what we're showing. Oh, the magnet's stuck to here. So to pull these spools off, I just pull it. Pair of channel locks, get it off like that. Same with this one. There we go. These, pretty easy. Just pull it, hold it on one end, and then just flip it around when it start getting stuck. Or you can break this off and then pull everything off at once, which we're going to try to do. I don't normally do that. This is iron ferrite. There we go. Break the little piece off because it's going to get stuck on that little edge. There you go. Once you break it, you can just pull it off and unspool it. Very easy, you know. Very simple. I'm showing you all of the tricks that I've learned over all the years of doing this. I've been doing this for probably about 10 years now. See if we can get this one off the same way. It does make a mess, but that's why I work in a cart like this, because the mess gets contained. So if you do have an area, try to get yourself one of these plastic carts. I mean, they're a little expensive, but they're definitely worth it, especially if you don't want to spend most of your afternoons cleaning up all the mess that you make all over the floor. So there's a couple things there, but that's easy to pick up. So we got some more copper there. Still got these little strands that fell off, whatever. We'll clean it. We'll do a cleanup of that afterwards. But I'm just looking to see if there's any more copper in here. Yeah, like I said, I mean, this was part of the video connector cable, which is on the floor right there. I don't normally strip these. You can see how small the wires are. There's maybe like 2 or 3 decent sized wires in this group, but it's just not worth it for me. It's just too small. So I am gonna not do that. This spool right here, I'm gonna show you very quickly how easy this is to do. Adjust the channel locks here for a minute. Pull it, grab it off, break it if you have to. You wanna get it down to its simplest form, which is that spool. Okay, here's a spool here. Now, getting back to my trick that I have, you take a screwdriver all the way through. You find out which way it turns. Try to grab all of them. Okay, so it goes this way. That one's stationary, so we'll wrap that around so it doesn't get tangled. And there's another one here somewhere, but I can't really find the end for it. So it might be all attached. So pretty much just hold it and pull it. And just usually keep your hand over it so it doesn't keep wobbling around. So, but these are very easy to strip. There we go. There's one wire. The other wire's in there somewhere. So we'll see if we can find that real quick. Might be here at the bottom. Yep, that's what it is. It usually has a little thin layer of adhesive that holds it down. So again, we're gonna find it. Just pull. Oh, fell right off. That didn't work too well. Let's see, is it going the right way? There we go. Yeah, see? Well, you get the idea. I mean, that's pretty much how you do it. Actually, let's put this at the top like this. There we go. That's normally what I do. I flip it around. There we go. Jump. Wind this up real quick. Okay. So you can see the amount of copper that comes out of this monitor. There's more in these monitors than, you know, like usually televisions, because in televisions on that, this part here that I broke off from the top here, they don't usually have these on televisions. This I found to be specifically in these Dell monitors. I can't remember if they're in off-brand monitors or not, but this is a 17-inch monitor, so you can, you know, expect in a Dell one, especially to have these. So just make sure you always check those beforehand. Then these right here, normally what I do, I pull this wire. I said I wasn't gonna do it on camera, but I'm gonna do it like a fool. But just pretty much unravel it like this. Make sure you're doing the correct one. The correct side is this side, because that is the top layer. So pretty much just unravel it like this. Yeah, it's not too bad. And you're seeing live how long it actually takes to do something like this. So you can be the judge if it's worth it for you or not. So we got that one. The other one is right here. It's like a little green wire here. My favorite color is actually green, so I like actually seeing this. So to make sure it doesn't get tangled on the other wires, hold the other wires with your other hand, protect them, and then just, you know, start unraveling. I mean, if you have problems with your shoulders and stuff like that, I probably wouldn't advise doing it. You could just throw this in like transformer piles or your transformer bin or whatever, wherever the hell you have it. So, and there we go. It's usually wrapped around once. Junk. So that's the easy amount of copper to get out of these. There's a black box here that has a little bit of copper in it. I've showed you these before, and it has a silver contact as well. Rip that off. See if we get the whole thing off. There you go. Nope, we broke it. But channel locks are your friends with these boards here. Oh, see, I just made it easy for myself. I broke right through the spool that was on there. I already got it all off. Most of it. There's still some on there. Still pulling it. It's a very thin layer. There we go, it just snapped off. But this is copper also, so even though it's a different color. But here's the box. Let's see if I can get most of it in one piece now. Don't be afraid to rip these apart. I mean, this is just gonna get scrapped out by the scrapyard. The silver contacts in these, I'm actually breaking the brass connectors off. You can see here, this is a brass connector, and that little silver dot there, that is a silver contact, so we always save these. I've got a small mason jar I've been working on, so I'm just try to grab them and just pull them off. This is really adhered to the board very well. So yeah, you gotta drop something. Got another one here, another one here. There's actually more in this one than most of them, so that's how I can tell this is actually a decent monitor. Got one right here. Yeah, just clip it off. There you go, clip it right off, or pull on it. So there's another contact there. So we got 4 silver contacts out of this, and then see if we can get the rest of this. A little bit of tiny copper off the spool. Probably not. I mean, it's, yeah. They make them pretty difficult to do. Actually, this one isn't that bad. Yeah. I'll do that off camera. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I won't. Yeah, this is going to take forever. There's literally like 5 layers on this. Yeah. I mean, something like that I'm not going to worry about. I could give that away, as far as I'm concerned. So the only thing I've got to do left, besides clean this up, I usually do, oh, the degauzing cable. We forgot about that. Not the degauzing cable, the cable that actually held the monitor tube down in the corners. This is exposed copper, so pretty much just clip it off right where you see the black rubber. So there we go. So pretty much there's a little bit of brass on here. I try to get that brass stuff off. And then I put that separately. I mean, this takes a little tiny bit of time, but, you know, this is exposed, you know, copper wire. You know, I don't have to strip it. I just throw it right in my furnace, as is. And clip all those off. Okay. And that's it. Like, now it's just down to a regular wire. I will clip all these brass pieces off. A little bit here I missed. But you get the gist of it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set this aside for right now. I'll clean that up a little bit later, off camera. These, don't strip them out. There's really nothing inside them. Clip as many of the wires off as you can. Throw them in your insulated wire bin. If you have a stripping machine or you like stripping wire, you can strip it down and get a tiny bit of copper out of it. Normally what I do, I don't even normally do that. I just clip the wires off and I leave the plug on here. And the reason I do that is because it's a little extra weight. I do cash in the boards. The boards do get cashed in as is. If there's easy extruded aluminum, I will pull it off. These aren't that bad. This one I can get off easily. This one, it's got a transformer in the way, so I might leave this on here. It's not a lot of aluminum to really bother with it, but just clip all the wires off. Get the board as clean as you can of wires, and then just throw it right in your low-grade wires bin. Like I said, there is a transformer here. There's a lot of tape on it. They're actually kind of difficult to get all the tape off. If you want to see, I will do it just to show you. Normally, it usually breaks the board. That's one of the reasons why I don't pull these off, because it just makes a big mess. Let's see. No, that wasn't bad. It actually came off pretty good. So normally what I do, I break this. This is iron ferrite. Just keep it away from your eyes. Just break it right in the corners. Yeah. Break it in the corners if you can. Not the best plier, not the best channel locks for this. Pry this off. Pry this off. I want to show you how kind of a pain in the butt it is. I mean, it might be worth it for you to do it. But usually break all of it off. It's just easier if you break it. There you go, you can pull that out too. Okay. And then maybe we'll get this side over here too. Come on, get in there. I just want to keep breaking apart. And like I said, you should wear gloves when you do stuff like this. This stuff does get sharp. So, find the edge here where the tape is. Yeah, you can see it. There's like a couple different thin layers, and then it usually it does like, you know, on like duct tape or like regular tape does that, you know. It just pulls off a little bit of it. Normally what I try to do, I'm gonna have to bring this guy out, and be careful when you do this. Don't do it near your fingers. Make a little slit in it, and then you can start peeling it off like that. And it usually has that wrapped, and then there's only a thin layer like this, and then there's another layer of tape, and then another layer of tape. So, and it's real dirty too. There's a lot of lacquer on this and a lot of tape. Yeah, and then once you get it, if you get these edges off, it's usually a little easier, which I can't. Come on. I mean, for the amount of work that goes into this, I mean, it's really not worth doing these. I would just throw it right in your transformers or leave it on the board. So I'll clip off what I can from this. I'm not going to waste any more time with that. I'm going to get this power cable stripped down completely. Normally, you know what I always do. I cut the plugs off. I'm not going to take the pieces of brass off tonight. I'm just collecting a bin of these for right now. And then when I have a whole bucket full of it, I'll spend like an hour or two one night and just take all the brass off. And then clip the little pieces of aluminum that comes off with it. So anyways, let me go ahead and get this stripped down, and I'll clean this up, and we'll do a final weigh-in, and we'll get everything melted. Just a quick update on that small transformer that was on the board here that I broke off, that I said don't strip them because they take forever to strip apart. I've already stripped 3 layers off of it, and the copper doesn't even go all the way around. It only goes around in a little section. So don't scrap these out. Just break them off the board if you have to, throw them in your transformers bin, and get your money that way if you're just going to scrap them. If you're going to melt copper down like I do, and you're really anal and you want to get every little piece that you can go ahead and do that, like I'm doing right now. So pretty much, yeah, we're on the 4th layer right now, and I'm going to show you real quick how much is actually wrapped around under each layer. We got one little thin wire here. This one wasn't bad. This one actually is the best one that I've gotten so far. You can see that it's not wrapped here or here. So yeah, that's pretty much, that was the 4th layer. So we'll just pull that off. The wires are getting a little thicker. I won't lie, they are getting a little thicker, but I still got probably about two different ones here, 2 layers, maybe 3. So let's just do it real quick. See if I can get this apart quickly. So I usually grab the edge and then just unwrap it. The adhesive is the most pain in the butt part because it just constantly wants to stick to everything. It's like that. And my fingers. So just find the edge. I could spend all night looking for this one. I think it's right there. There it is. And I didn't get all of this off, so it's going to tear apart. So let's just peel this. See if we can get that adhesive off. There we go. Yeah, see? Sticks to everything. That's why I wouldn't recommend doing these. So where was the edge now? There's the edge. Try to get all of it. I mean, if you want to make quick work of it, you could probably take a rake, put it in a vise, and then just score it the long way, all the way through, and then just peel the layers of tape off, but you're going to be peeling forever. So like this one, yeah, see? So in the middle, it's only that little section that's covered. So that's why I say, you know, you spend a lot of time doing these, and, you know, that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4... The 5th layer I just did, and look, there's really not much to pull off of that. You know, there's really not much. But we'll do it the whole way. We'll get the rest of it done. Might be the end of it right here. And if not, I'll just do the rest off camera, and I'll tell you how many layers it is. Yeah, this is getting pretty difficult, so I think I'm gonna do this. If I get this here, maybe I'll do it. Nope. I'm gonna do the rest of this off camera, and I'll show you how many layers. So we're on the 6th layer right now. Okay guys, there was 7 layers of tape on this. Don't scrap them out completely. I just can't tell you enough. Don't scrap them out. I wasted about 10 minutes getting this apart. So anyways, that's pretty much everything I've got for copper here. I still got to clean up this wire here. I'm going to clean up this mess. There's a couple small wires that I'm going to strip down, like these little thicker gauge ones. We'll strip down these two and this. We'll get every little bit that we can out of it. You can take it as far as you want. I mean, it all depends on your time and what it's worth to you, and I can't stress that enough. I usually say it in every video, and I mean it. It's whatever your time is worth to you. If you're looking to do this, and make quick money, don't even take the boards out. Don't waste your time with the little bit of copper that's on them. Just take the yolks out, break the yolks down. That's the quickest part, is the gauze and cable and the yolks. That's the quickest part. So that's where you're going to get your quick money from. And, cut the power cord off. If you decide to strip it, you have a machine to do it, then do that. If you don't, just throw it in your insulated wire. You'll get money from that too. That's why I have so many bins of stuff. They eventually add up if you start, keeping everything separated from itself. Like all these wires I'm going to do, because they're nice thick wires. It'll add to the weight, which is, I want to tell you how much copper is really in one of these. So, that's what I'm going to do. So anyways, yeah, this is pretty much all set now. I'm just going to clip some more wires off. We'll get this bench cleaned up. We'll strip this wire, and I'll get you a final weigh-in of this. All right, guys, I got most of the cart cleaned off. One thing I'm going to mention is, to make it a little easier for yourself, go ahead and get yourself like a retrieving magnet and just put like, a piece of rope or wire against it, and then just go along the whole thing, and it'll pick up all the little pieces of, ferrous metal. Like this is not ferrous, so that's made of something else. But just grab everything off, and then whatever sticks, put that in your little steel pile. There's a little bit that I missed. And then this is non-ferrous. So that's aluminum, this is stainless, that's stainless, and this is made of like some pot metal or maybe zinc or stainless. So I'm not really 100% sure. But yeah, so that's an easier way to get your cart cleaned off of, any excess metal that you left there. And then normally just, use a dustpan and a brush like I'm gonna do in about 2 seconds. So I still gotta strip down the wire, the little small pieces, and then I'll bring it back in for the wrap up. All right, guys, here's some of the wires, some of the small pieces that I'm going to do here. One thing you want to get, a pair of these strippers. They're cheap. You want to get them, get to the right diameter, cut it right here, clip it, spin it around, pull. This one didn't do it too well, but I already stripped these wires and scored them down the middle. Just pull it right off like that. So it is a little time consuming. Let's see, I think it's 12 gauge. Just spin it around, pull it. Get the bare wire here. I usually twist it once and then find the edge and then pull it like that. I mean, it is kind of quick when you get a groove going. The longer pieces are, more profitable for you. Spin it around, pull that. And I don't think I scored this one all the way through. Oh, I did. So yeah, just pull it apart. And that's it. I mean, it all depends on how much you value your hands. I'm sure I'm going to get arthritis in the next couple of years, just because of how often I am using my hands doing these kind of things. But, I do make pretty much quick work of it. So, just right there, those 4 little pieces already got some more copper. So, we're going to go ahead and do the rest of them. Pretty much this is what I got here. All this is what I got left to do. Once this is done, we'll weigh it up, and then we'll go ahead and start melting. Okay, guys, I got all the wire stripped. This little pile over here, that's what I got off of it. It wasn't much. It took me maybe about 5 minutes to get it all stripped down completely. Using the stripping machine, cutting the ends off, cleaning all the contacts. This is the insulated wire I'm not going to strip. The strands are so thin in here, it's not worth doing. So I'm just going to throw all of this into a low-grade insulated wire. I'll clip these ends off and it'll upgrade it. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do with this. So let's go ahead and get the scale out, which we've got it right here. Hopefully you can see it. I'm doing it backwards, so bear with me. So just from this stuff that I stripped, let's just see how much extra we got, which I don't think it's much, maybe 20 grams. Looks like 32, okay. Fluctuating 31, 32. We'll just call it 32. So this other stuff here, let me just get an empty bucket. Actually, let me dump it in this one, it'll be easier. So here's all the copper we got from that monitor. So we got an empty bin here. We'll go ahead and tear this out. Okay, that's zeroed out. Let's I'll pull it off. Put everything in here. Oh, I got a little piece of tape. That was a straggler. There we go. But that's all the copper from the rest of the monitor. And then we add this in. And we got 450 grams. Now that, if I'm correct, this should equate to exactly a pound. So let's see. 15.9 ounces. You can't get any more closer to a pound than that. If I stripped out a small couple pieces of those wires, I could get it exactly a pound, but I'm not going to do that. This is good enough as is. So 0.45 kilos is, yeah, exactly. 450 grams, 0.45 kilos. So anyways, yeah, that's exactly how much copper you can get out of one of those Dell monitors. I pretty much scrapped everything I could out of it. We've got the empty shell right over there in the corner, which I'm going to go ahead and leave for our bulk pickup at the beginning of the month of May. So yeah, now I'm going to go ahead and set up the furnace. We'll melt this down. We'll make a small little ingot out of it. All right, guys. I just took that respirator off. Sorry if you hear me heavily breathing. These tongs are awesome, actually. I can literally pick up the crucible from inside like this and pull it straight out instead of using those other tongs right over there. So that's pretty cool. So let's get the bucket set up here. Let's see if you can see that. Nah, you can't. Yeah, we'll do it this way. All right, it's still pretty much glowing hot. Still see the orange. There we go. You know, as I was heating up those 2 cast iron molds over there, I realized one of them, the smallest one, is actually for 25 ounces and the other one's for 40 ounces. So, you know, I knew I was going to have more than enough just for the big one. Even that one I could have casted in. But anyways, that's pretty much what she looks like. So, not too bad. I mean, that's literally pretty much a pound. I mean, there might have been a little extra inside the crucible, but I did take out some slag right over here. Let me get that out of the way. I really like these tongs. So yeah, there's some of the slag right here that you can expect to pull out. So yeah, pretty much it's like glass, but it's got a little bit of copper and impurities in it. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and get this bar cleaned up, and we'll bring it back for the final weigh-in. Well, it's a pretty nice looking bar, except for this couple holes on the top side, which usually doesn't happen, but hey, whatever. I could always remelt it down in the future. Okay, still set in kilos. Let's change that to grams. All right, tear that. Yeah, perfect. All right, so we're at 0 grams. We were at 450 grams before we melted it down. There might be a little bit extra copper that was still stuck in the crucible from the last pour. We might have lost some due to the lacquer that was on all that wire. So let's see what we got. 439 grams. So we lost 11 grams. That equates to, let's see, 15.5 ounces. So not bad. Half ounce shy of a pound. So that's usually 14 grams roughly. So not too bad. So yeah, that's how much copper was inside that Dell monitor. Doesn't look like a big bar. It's really not. I mean, but a pound is a pound pretty much. So let's go ahead and add this. We're gonna go ahead and add it to my little bin over here, which is buried behind there. So let me just drag that out for a second. Okay. Bless you, whoever that was outside. Take these gloves off. Across the screen. I hate this GoPro because the screen always goes dead. So we had 107.7 pounds of copper the last time we weighed up in my last video. Add another 15.5 ounces to that. So that's what we got. Thank you very much for watching my video. If you like this kind of stuff, you know, feel free to hit that subscribe button. If you're a newcomer to the channel, I do new videos every single week. I'm always scrapping something different out, and I'm usually melting the metal down. So that's pretty much what my channel is pretty much based upon, you know, metal scrapping and casting. So again, if you like this kind of stuff, feel free to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and you'll be alerted immediately once I publish a new YouTube video. So again, thank you very much for your support, and Happy scrapping and casting.